Welcome to the Merit webinar for October. This month we are covering professional development plans. My name is Diana Stokes and I am a professional development specialist on this team. I oversee curriculum development as well as staff qualifications. Today we are covering and providing an overview of the professional development plan as well as how to use professional development plan. Next month, we will respond to commonly asked questions about the professional development plan and meeting one's staff qualifications. And towards the end of this webinar, I will go over how those questions can be submitted. So what is a professional development plan? Per WAC definition, a professional development support plan is a formal means by which an individual goal who is supervising staff sets out the goals, strategies, and outcomes of learning and training. So when this comes to your staff qualifications, this includes your education requirement, such as the hiring and full education. It includes your in-service training, which are those annual STARS hours, as well as the pre-service requirements and training. And these must be completed before hire or before being left alone with children. There are many ways to keep track of all of these different requirements, and the purpose of having a professional development plan is to track your progress. In the past, you may have used various methods to keep track of this progress. If you were attending school, it may have been your program's completion plan. Maybe you were using your professional record and merit. Your facility may use a checklist of what's required for your position. Behind the scenes, DCYF has been working to update merit to be a better system of record to track these professional development progress. So there are many ways to go about having a professional development plan. One of the first things you want to do is step it out. And this means that you're going to think about what your milestone or goal is, and you're going to set out the different steps you need to reach that goal or milestone. What's great about a professional development plan is that it's individualized. It is based totally on your knowledge, skills, and abilities and what's needed for your professional role. And it can be also a personal goal or milestone that you want to reach, or it can be based on your professional needs as well. And the professional development plan is used to track and document your progress. So as I mentioned, there are different methods you may have been using in the past for your professional development plan, and some of those may have been focusing more on what you needed now. Our goal is that you'll use this as a way to think about where you want to be in the future. It can help you keep an updated track and progress status for yourself if you want to continue on to different positions, different field choices, or anywhere else that you may want to go in your professional career. So for right now, if you were an assistant teacher but wanted to be a lead teacher, you could use a professional development plan to kind of see and compare what is needed from assistant teacher versus a lead teacher, and be working on meeting your requirements for an assistant teacher, but then also progressing towards becoming a lead teacher. Maybe you wanted to be a family home licensee and your own business owner. This would be another opportunity for you to be maintaining and working towards that different role. You can also use it for something that may align with your current pathway. So you may want to become a coach or a trainer, so your professional development plan can help you compare pathways and figure out which one is best for you. The professional development plan is going to be original to your own needs. So make sure that the plan that you are creating is the plan that you want and that it'll help you meet your long-term goals. Again, a professional development plan is going to help you track your professional development progress towards meeting training, education requirements, and any long-term goals that you may have. So the first step is to know my milestone or to know my goal. What is the education needed for that role? When does it need to be completed by? You'll need to know what is needed, and please keep in mind that most roles have until August 1st, 2026 to meet their education requirements. There was a language change in the WAC that will be released in January 2021, tentatively, that gives an extension of 2 years based on what is current WAC language. And keep in mind that center lead teachers and licensed family home owners have 2 additional years to complete the short certificate or equivalent once they've completed that initial certificate. So as a licensed provider, there are named credentials in the WAC that are needed to have, or you can have the equivalent. So you may need to have an initial certificate, a short certificate, a state certificate, or if you're an ECAP teacher, you may need an associate's degree. And remember, there's equivalents for most of these roles. There are many different ways to meet that named credential. So the next step in your professional development plan is going to be to make a choice. Know that there's many different options. Those are called equivalents, and know which options are available for your role and how it will vary for each role. So what you are today may not be where you want to be. So understand that there are different pathways for each, and which one will be the best option for you for your long-term goal. And again, there's these different pathways. So you can get the ECE certificate, so the stackable certificate, the initial, short, or state, or an ECE degree. You could use other education that you may have obtained or are working towards. You can use your experience, which would be the experience-based competency demonstration, or you can complete the community-based training. You can find out more information on each pathway on our professional development page, as well as previous recordings that have been posted on the website. So again, as you are looking at what you have currently, you want to evaluate your education. So if you haven't done so already, you'll want to submit an education application and merit, including for your high school education. And this will give you the starting point to determine what pathway may be best for you. As you do that, you'll need to determine what the education requirement is for your role. You can use your professional development plan with the equivalent options for education document or the role checklist, both of which are on our website, to find what education credential and equivalents are required for your role, and then track your progress. As you do that and the education is added to your merit account, you'll see different options on there. So through example 1, you'll see somebody who has not submitted any education yet. So you won't see anything under the school name or the certificates section. And then in example 2, you'll see somebody who has submitted education. There's an option there, so you'll see the school name, what have they done, and then the breakdown of their credits. And then you'll also see under certificates and credential title, you'll see that's where the stackable certificates are found. You'll find the CDA there, as well as any Montessori certificates. So there's different ways right now to review your education and merit. So once you've done that, you know what your role is, you know what your milestone is, now it's the time to get started. So it's time to ask questions. If you're unsure, it's okay. Just talk to others and ask the questions, and you'll be able to ask about their experience, and they can guide you to the resources available to checking into your different pathways and what's available to you for your role. You'll want to record any education that you have in merit, and this includes your high school diploma or GED or equivalent. Coming soon in spring 2021, you'll be able to mark your option in merit. So that'll be your professional development plan. You'll document your progress, and you'll document your plan and then track that progress. So that way everything is together in one spot for you as you move forward. So like I just said, the professional development plan is coming to merit. It'll be here in early 2021, and you'll be able to update it annually to show that you're making progress on whatever pathway you are choosing. Come in December to learn more about what's happening behind the scenes in regards to merit, our workforce registry. So previously, several slides ago, you may remember that we also included training for your professional development plan. So the professional development plan will be an option for you to track what training is required for your role. You can use the training requirements chart or the role checklist to find out what trainings are required for that role and then track your completions. You can also find out what your training requirements are in the career planning portal. And then once you go to the career planning portal, which would be a great option for learning more about your education options, you'll use the find a degree and use the guided degree search. And once you find your role of where you want to be or where you are today, that will give you your education requirements as well as any required trainings for that role. So the big question is, how do licensors use the professional development plan? I don't want them knowing everything that I'm doing, but I want them to understand that I'm meeting the progress. And so that's really what the licensors are doing. So they're using their licensing compliance checklist and they're looking for the documented annual progress. So what that means is that each year, licensors will be confirming that the training requirements are met for your role and that you're making progress on your education requirement. Once that education requirement has been met, they'll no longer be looking at that. They will be using merit to verify the annual progression as well as training completions. And just remember that it's up to the individual, the provider, to update the information in merit. So you'll want to make sure you're updating your professional development plan as well as ensuring that your training is recorded accurately. And then coming soon, the merit enhancements will make it easier to support easy viewing for you as the provider, as well as the licensor to check and see where you're at. And then a quick update that licensors will not be looking at your professional development plan until the 2021-2022 fiscal year. So that will start July 1, 2021. And so that means once the merit enhancements are live, you will use that first 6 months-ish of 2021 to record your professional development plan, selecting your pathway that you are choosing for your education. And then after July 1st, 2021, that is when the licensors will start looking to make sure that professional development plan has been entered. So you may be in a role that oversees staff and you may want to help them with getting their professional development plan going. So it's important to know when you're helping others what the requirements are for their role and where to find that information. You can use the role checklist to do that as well as the WAC itself. And you need to understand what their goals are. So remember, the professional development plan is personalized and to the individual. So if they want to be a lead teacher in the future, but are an assistant teacher today, help them go into that direction. Or if they're a lead teacher today, but then want to be the director one day, help them know what they need to get to that long-term goal. And then know the different pathways. So there are more than one way to create your education plan, right? So know what the different pathways are for each role. So you can use the career planning portal or the education equivalence document as well. And you can see a screen capture of that on your screen. And then as you help others or you're trying to figure out your own plan, know that there are different resources available for you. So there is the professional development website. On there, you can find the role checklist. You can find this webinar and previously recorded webinars and the newsletters available for you to reference. You can also use the career planning portal and find out education options, different colleges and community and technical colleges that you can work with to earn ECE degrees or certificates, and you can also find the training requirements there. And then coming soon, DCYF has been working on several different options for supporting documentation. We're going to have a staff qualifications workbook as well as a training requirements workbook. And those will be posted on our website as soon as they are available. And those will be great resources in completing your professional development plan and just figuring out what the different options are available to you. So again, you have the newsletters and webinars option on our professional development page. They have this standalone option there, and you'll find all previously recorded webinars as well as professional development newsletters. The newsletters are available in English, Spanish, and Somali. And you'll also find our state approved trainer newsletters, which were previously just for state approved trainers, but is now for growing the workforce. And so it's all relationship-based professional development individuals. So as I mentioned previously, we have a couple additional webinars coming up for the 2020 year. In November, we will be doing a Q&A on professional development plans and those frequently asked questions about meeting one staff qualifications as well. And then in December, you'll get updates on the workforce registry, which is Merit. And so that'll be a great opportunity to get a sneak peek of everything that's coming in 2021 for you. So what's next? So this is in regards to any questions that you have after this webinar. So please email the Merit inbox there, which is on your screen, and put in webinar question in the subject line. And so that will let us know that it is specific about this webinar that you want us to cover it in November. If you have any general questions about staff qualifications, you can email the Merit inbox as well, and they will be able to assist you further. In the next couple of weeks, we will be taking all the submitted questions and providing answers and getting that ready for the November webinar so we can do some live Q&A for that. So again, thank you so much for joining me today and learning about professional development plans. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to myself or to Marlene White. Marlene is also your contact for the professional development newsletter. So if you're not already subscribed to get the most current up-to-date information from our team, please email her and she will be able to get you subscribed. And again, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you guys all soon. Thank you.